Here we are. We are late, but nonetheless, we are here. So happy to be here. I was doing Father's Day stuff with the family, my beautiful fiance, Alicia, and her daughter, Zoe. It was a delicious dinner we had some beverages. It was just like the perfect evening. And I'm sorry if I'm late, but I had to enjoy it because after the Father's Day, it's back to work as being the guy that does everything. That's not true. She would get mad if she heard that right now. But it was a lovely evening. I hope you all had a lovely evening with your father, if you're a father or expecting to be a father. I don't know. But again, we all wish happy Father's Day to all you fathers and everybody out there. Yes, I am dressed in a button down. It may look like I'm out for a job interview, but that's not the case. We went to a nice restaurant. Joe, I'm talking too much on a few beverages. How are you?
What's up? No, I'm good. My dad actually was away for the weekend, visiting some friends. He's got his core group of like grade school buddies still hanging out. One of them has a mountain house, so they were up there this weekend, and I'm getting lunch with him sometime during the week. Him and my grandma, so that'll be good. Good little send off for the end, the post Father's Day. But sure. I gave him a call. You know,
that's the most important thing. I gave my dad a call too. I showed him I built a shed. I was doing man stuff, and I was actually on the phone with you while I was doing that drilling. Did you hear that? Anyways,
I did.
But again, apologies that we're late. But I'll tell you what, no money will be owed to you because this is going to be a fantastic show. I am super hyped to hear and see what this big news is that Josh is teasing us. Joe and I do not know. We absolutely have no idea. So hope you guys are all excited about, he's going to deliver the news, but there's something additional here that, again, I'm super excited about that he has teased. As we do, as I guess is the third week in a row we're doing this, the featured episode issue. This is Josh. All right, Josh, your name is Joe. Joe, this is issue 186. So we had to go with this issue, and you agreed with this one. I think you like this one.
I do. I like this book.
So here we go. This is Batman 186. Joe, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So Silver Age Batman, and it's everything you want in a Silver Age Batman book, from the checkered the checkered DC top that they had during the later part of the 1960s. And a zany Batman cover featuring the Joker. Definitely a sign of the times. Everything got a little bit sillier, a little bit less serious in the Silver Age, and that included giving the Joker his own sidekick. This bowl cut motherfucker right here.
You rarely drop the F-bombs, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah, listen, I don't curse on this show very much, but it deserves it for just Gaggy the Clown and his interesting appearance. We got this like little guy in a jester suit, bowl cut, looking like Dr. Octopus, and he's got this stupid like Frosty the Snowman nose that's clearly, you can see the string tied around his head. This is a character that clearly did not take off, but something happened many moons later with this character. And I love that. I love when comic book writers go back to original source material, previous issues, things that happened once. Gaggy the Clown only appears in this issue. Nonetheless, Gaggy the Clown reappears many years later. In fact, in the 2000s, in the Gotham City Sirens run. If you have not read that, I suggest you do. It is a very cool callback, almost like an Easter egg, and no one would have expected it. Again, this character showed up once in the Silver Age, and then once again in 2004, 2006, whenever that came out. I was in high school at the time or something like that. Very cool. I love when that kind of stuff happens, and that is a prime example.
And I did a little research, Joe. Do you know what Gaggy's full name is? His legal name. Do you know what it is? I'm not making this up, by the way.
Gagabus.
No, it's Gagsworth A. Gagsworth.
That first and last name the same as I said. That bowl cut motherfucker.
Oh my God, he's terrible. But it's, you know what, the callback, it's nice to see that the writers do their research and things like that. Did he? I don't remember him appearing in the Three Jokers. But Danny or Tessa or D&T, they say that happened.
You know what? I haven't read the Three Jokers since it came out, which was like what 2020. That was like
it was like 4 years ago, which doesn't feel like 4 years ago. But
and it's actually funny that we're bringing that up because I was sorting some stuff out recently, my personal collection. I came across my Three Jokers run, and I was like, "Do I want to keep these? Yeah, let's keep these. This is kind of a cool run."
I find them in dollar bins, like
it was.
I thought it was great. I like when somebody builds upon a legacy, but it doesn't feel like it's like where'd this cut, like Court of Owls is a perfect example of something like that, where it seamlessly fits into the lore of the character. But anyways, we're getting down the rabbit hole here, and we don't have time to do that because again, we're very excited. As you can see from the thumbnail, Josh has some news to tease, or we tease some news that Josh will be telling. Big news. And why don't we just bring Josh in, because this is his segment. He is the news editor, and you are the editor-in-chief. He is your employee. Just introduce him.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Here's Josh.
Boom. Oh, look at that. He's meditating, I think. Joshua, how are you, buddy?
Good evening, my fellow gentlemen and ladies of Comic Book Canon. How are you?
Welcome. It's your news segment. We're going to start just jumping into it. Because, by the way, before we do that, I would be remiss if I did not bring this up. We have the CBC awards coming up. They are the comic book community awards right here. There's a link down below if you'd like to nominate us or any other channel. We suggest you do so. The link is down below to nominate the channels on YouTube. Those that give back to the community, are part of the community, and again, we're all about this. We think these awards are fantastic, and so the nominations, you can nominate channels right now, ours or any other ones that you enjoy as well. So please do so. Click the link below and nominate away. Joseph, why don't we get into some news as we build up the anticipation here, because you got some big news to talk about, and we're very excited about this.
You mean Josh? You said Joseph. You're mixing this up, and
I had a few margaritas. I have to just be completely.
Look, we look two good-looking guys. We look similar, you know. I mean,
similar. You dress nicer, Josh or Joe on the bottom. I'm not sure who you are. That tie is outstanding. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we?
All right, so we got some news to jump into, and let's start off with some DCU news. So it looks like Blue Beetle, an animated series, is in the works, and the series will serve as some sort of conclusion or continuation of the movie. I gotta say that I finally watched the movie a few weeks ago, and I thought it was decent, and I'm looking forward to seeing this movie continue. I know at the end they kind of set it up for Ted Codd to show up and possibly, or to find out where he's at with his daughter. And I kind of feel like Blue Beetle is going to be part of the Justice League coming in, I feel like, eventually.
Yeah, James Gunn did in fact say that the Blue Beetle will be part of his DCU. Yeah. I think, Joe, you did not enjoy the film.
It wasn't that I didn't enjoy the film. It was a little generic, and it was this is for me. This is for me, a 34-year-old guy who tends to like darker and more violent stuff. It was a little family friendly for me. It was a little Spy Kids for me. Now, Spy Kids, great movie. Also, I was entertained by that movie immensely when I was a child. But if I watched Spy Kids today, I think I'd be a little bit bored. It was kind of along those lines.
You sure about that?
Maybe I'm wrong, but what I'm saying is I think it's a solid movie. I think it's a good story. It's a fun movie, if you will. I wasn't blown away by it, but would I show it to, my 7-year-old nephew? Yeah, sure. That'd be a great movie to get him into things.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I didn't think it was going to be changing my life in any way. I didn't expect that going in, especially from anything from the DCEU or what have you, those iterations. And I think this was planned while the DCEU was going to continue on. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I thought it was fun. I thought The lead actor was great. I love the family. George Lopez was awesome. I can't stand George Lopez, but he was awesome in this. And I'm excited to see where the cartoon goes to continue that and maybe lead into the DCU because, again, James Gunn did say that the Blue Beetle will be part of it. So,
well, also James said, I guess his favorite team of the Justice League is Justice League of America, like Volume 2, which actually has like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle in the team. Like it's not your traditional lineup, you know what I mean? You have Batman, Superman, and I think Wonder Woman, but you have the add-in characters. So
Guy Gardner as
exactly
as Green Lantern, and I am not a huge DC guy, but Mike Popachilli Town loves that run. James Minhunter Comics, they're DC guys and they like that run. So hey, I'm willing to give it a shot
for sure. I'm excited. I think it's going to start getting the anticipation for DCU stuff is going to continue to kind of rise because we have Creature Commandos coming out this year. This year. So very excited for this. And Josh, thank you for starting off on that note. We have another one that's actually non-Marvel, actually. And,
surprisingly, but this is a great one. So the first 3 episodes of The Boys season 4 has dropped. This week, and I watched all 3 episodes on Friday night back to back, and I'm disappointed because I usually watch the whole season because I used to drop it all in one go. But season 4, in my opinion, kicks off and continues to do great things. So, did you guys watch any of The Boys?
Joe.
Oh, I'm going first. You opened your mouth. I saw you in the little.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll wait for him because I heard you go.
Yeah. Admittedly, I am currently on season 1 of both The Boys and Invincible. Oof. I have been lacking in my support of indie comics in other media. I know that I have liked what I've seen so far. Again, I'm on season 1. Season 4 just started. Invincible season 2 is already out. I think we're waiting for season 3, if I remember correctly, for Invincible. So I am behind on those 2 properties for sure. What I have seen from The Boys, I really like. And a lot of my non-comic friends really like both The Boys and Invincible. So that tells me that they are just solid all-around shows, not just specifically for comic book lovers. So I'm definitely excited to see those.
I feel like The Boys is something you never saw before when that first season came out. I have not started watching season 4. I'm all caught up to season 3. So I'm excited. I have not watched Gen V, though. I've watched maybe 2 episodes of that. I do want to see more. But do you have to watch Gen V, Josh, to... Okay.
No, you don't have to. I don't say it's not really a spoiler, but you saw it in the trailer. A few of the characters will be in the show.
That makes sense.
But you don't need to watch Gen V in order to be, for any of season 4.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Considering we know you're new at this. We know you are the news editor. You're just hired on. You have a crazy contract. It's less than the Honorable Dan De La Torre, but it's more money than anybody out there in the freelance world would be making. I'm a little bit upset. And Joe's your boss, so Joe has the ultimate say. He does your reviews and things like that. But you didn't mention the fact that the Boys, bless you, The Boys will be ending with season 5.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
So Joe, you may want to come down. I don't know what the punishment is for this or any sort of.
I made an honest mistake, gentlemen, and I can.
What's honest about that? You missed the news. Yeah, Jesus.
Was that a little harsh?
I mean, he's new. He's just learning. He's a reporter.
So it wasn't too harsh. What you're telling me is after the show, I should go to his house and beat him up.
That would be nice because, again, that's like behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want to put that out there in front of the whole community. 18 million people are watching us right now. That's a little bit embarrassing.
All right, so we'll bring him back on and then beat him up after the show. Is that the plan?
Yeah. Just let me know we'll plan something out completely. And your wife is Shelby's calling me out. That's true though.
Oh, wrong one. Oh God! Cameo appearance.
I made an honest mistake. We've had a lot of news this week come out, and but yeah, so season 5. It's been originally a few weeks ago. They even said they weren't sure, but they just announced it. Season 5 is their last season. I'm kind of sad, but if you read the comics and if you know where we're at currently in season 4, you know it's got to come to an end. And they have, however, said that they want to do spin-offs of some of the characters. Okay. And Joe, while you haven't watched it yet, Jeffrey D. Morgan is actually in the show in season 4.
I like
and I'm sure you saw in the shows. And the rumor is they want to do a spin-off on his character, which I'm more open for, you know. Jeff, I don't know if you heard what I just said, but
I did. I was listening. My lovely fiance was having some
issues.
She was falling down the steps. No big deal. I love her nonetheless. Okay, yeah. So we can move on from that because we are getting closer and closer to this big news. Josh is going to surprise everybody with. I'm really excited about it.
It surprised me too. I can't believe it's happening.
Oh, somebody's calling out Alicia. Alicia, say hi. I don't know if y'all heard that, but she did give a hello.
A little bit.
Okay, moving on. We have our next one, which is actually Marvel news. So
this is actually kind of alarming and sad news, if you ask me. Yeah. So Marvel has parted ways with the recent director, Yan
Say the recent director.
Demanje? I don't know this guy's name.
Yan is pretty much parted ways. Originally, I heard he quit, but I'm hearing Marvel parted ways with him. Who knows? But this is the second director that has walked away from Blade, and they just hired another writer, which I think now makes 6 people currently writing the script. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the actor who's portraying Blade, his lawyer actually came out and said that the contract's been open since like 2019 when he signed on to play Blade, and nothing has happened with the film. And I mean, there's potential that he could maybe walk away from the film as well.
That would be a shame. Mahershala Ali is an outstanding actor. Everybody was so pumped when he came on stage. Kevin Feige announced that he will portray Blade. They did a great job with Werewolf by Night. That amazing, like, I don't know, as I recall, it was out of nowhere that they announced this thing, and it came out in October, and that was outstanding. So you thought they were going to go down the horror road. Why is this having so much trouble, Josh? Why?
I honestly can't tell you, man. Like, look, listen. If Kevin called me up tomorrow and said, "Hey, look, I'm having some problems in the writing room and the directing. I'm not the best director, but look. You give me the Blade 1 opening scene when he's just in the nightclub killing vampires. You give me that for 2 hours, I'm set. That's all I need. You know what I mean? Now, the MCU is a bit different. I don't know how they're going to introduce we got aliens, I guess, and all kinds of different creatures. But for me, it's kind of harder to see how they're going to introduce vampires into the MCU because there's no mention of them ever. And then I don't know. I've got to think there's something going on.
There's a way to do it. I think there's a way to do it. I think there are obviously creative differences. I think Mahershala Ali is a well enough known actor to be able to...
Pause a second. Look who's here.
Oh,
Christopher. I'm going to send him the link if he has. I don't want to pressure him, but yeah. And actually, Chris is friends with him too, by the way. Or he grew up with him.
Mahershala Ali?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's get him on the show as a guest. Maybe we get some behind the stage.
I mean, it's his show. It's still his show.
He's busy not filming Blade.
But yeah. Anyway, so I'm a little distracted because Chris, where is he? I want to try.
I'm worried because this movie's been, we had so many developments of now 2 directors walking away, multiple writers coming in, writing it, then they're scrapping the script, starting over again.
Yeah,
I've got a bad feeling, and I kind of feel like even if this movie does get made, I just got a feeling it might be another Marvel movie.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that. There's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of resets. There's been a lot of personnel changes. I do want to say that stay tuned for Fresh from the Comic Shop because I have the hiccups first of all, but I also have a Blade related book for Fresh from the Comic Shop today.
Oh, interesting. That's very timely. Very timely.
And the hiccups.
I think this movie will get made. I think that I don't know. The MCU is so intertwined with everything that they do.
Yeah.
And this has been like kind of a variable that they cannot pin down, and you never see something like this. If they want to do something, they do it. And it's really kind of baffling at this point.
I just don't see how it's so hard to write a Blade film.
Well, I think it's hard to coordinate the way that they coordinate logistics and everything else in the MCU. Oh gosh, I feel terrible because my fiance is like carrying heavy stuff down, and I should have. Well, it's Father's Day though, right?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything today.
I don't have to do anything. Do you hear her laughing? By the way,
yeah. I mean, Jeff, she's
I love you.
You didn't put the background on in the
told
TV.
Me she loves me on live television in front of 18 million people, 20 million people.
Is that Alicia laughing in the background, or is that the Joker blink twice if you're asleep?
I don't think she wants. Yeah, I don't think she wants me to turn the camera towards her right now. But I do love that woman. All right, moving on. Again, it's still pending. It's going to get made or not. I mean, I think it will get made. You two are a little kind of suspect, and who knows? Alexia,
I think it'll get made.
She laughs because she knows you could have helped. No, she wouldn't be laughing if she knew that. She'd be mad. But anyways, I think it's going to get made. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that I think it's going to get made. This is an interesting one from Mike Pope of Chilitown here. A theory that Giancarlo Esposito, who we know has signed on for a role, could be an older Blade, an older version in Captain America, and then the original Blade movie will take place in the 1970s, and it will be the younger version of Blade. Now that would be, in my opinion, pretty freaking cool.
That would be absolutely incredible, Mike. Yeah. I don't give you much credit. I don't think you're an intelligent human being, but this right here is one of the more smarter things I've heard you say.
Well, he said he read the theory, so he didn't come up.
Oh, I stand by everything I said. All right, moving on. We're going to move on to a different type of news segment here. But before we do, please like and subscribe. We love you all. We love doing this live every day or every Sunday. I've had too many margaritas. As 20 million people can attest to, again. So right now we're going to move on to Josh explain rumors. These are just rumors. You're not saying that this is happening or not. Continue, please.
So, in this rumor segment, we got some more Spider-Man 4 news, which is very interesting. And it looks like Green Goblin and Doc Ock could be reintroduced in the MCU by different people who were inspired by the Doc Ock and Green Goblin that we saw from No Way Home. And I kind of like this idea, but I don't know how to feel. I mean, I know Doc Ock has had multiple people. They even had Lady Octopus or Lady Doc Ock, how you would pronounce her. Obviously, we've had not multiple Green Goblins, but, we had Hobgoblin and all that and his son Harry. But, yeah, it makes sense because they're two of the biggest villains in Spider-Man. However, I kind of don't want that to happen because it would feel like they're just reusing the same villains. It's kind of like Batman. Like, you always get Scarecrow or Two-Face or Riddler. Like, I want to see some of lesser-known villains come up and get some spotlight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's still, like, A-tier villains that have not been used in live action, including there's never been a live action Hobgoblin. There's never been a live action Black Cat that is really there's been a Felicia, but there's never been a Black Cat. I've brought up those two multiple times, and then we've never really gotten a fully fleshed out Shocker. We've never really gotten a fully fleshed out we're getting a Kraven movie from the Sony universe, but obviously some things are happening. What's really going to be indicative of what happens here is obviously what we've been saying for years at this point. What is going on with Sony? Are they going to hold forever? Are they going to hold the Spider-Man properties forever? Hold them hostage? Are they going to continue to work with the MCU hand in hand? Or are they eventually going to sell that back? And as we've talked about, it would be a very pricey sale if they were going to do that.
It's a dilemma. It's not a good dilemma that Marvel is in, because Sony keeps making crappy movies and it's diluting the product.
Yeah.
But
where's the Will-O-the-Wisp movie?
I do, and I made this slate here in regards to another thing Josh wanted to make a point of, but this is who's top of my list for somebody who'd be an amazing villain.
Oh, dude. I think Tombstone is the most underrated villain in Spider-Man.
Well said. Said.
He's such a good villain. He had so much prominence in, I guess, late 80s that he first appeared, and certainly through the 90s, that was my childhood.
And he's kind of got reinvented now too through this new the new series where he's like kind of a gang leader. Like he is like one of the gang lords of, you know what I mean? So that's where you see this Romita, the image in the middle here. That's a John Romita Jr. image on the current run, and he's a badass.
Yeah.
I would love to see him, but also Josh, you're hearing some other villains as well. Who do you got?
Yeah, so not only is Tombstone rumored to be in the new Spider-Man 4 film, Scorpion may possibly show up, which I think, he was in, what was it, the Homecoming, I think, right?
Yeah, he was one of the...
then he was teased in the last Sony movie. I think it was in Mobius or something like that, wasn't he?
Who was that?
Scorpion. Wasn't he teased at an end credit?
He was in jail. Matt Gargan, who is Scorpion, was in Homecoming and then was in jail in the Morbius movie. Yeah,
I'm hearing Prowler might be showing up,
cool. And Donald Glover, live action Prowler. Let's go.
I mean, he was already set up in Far From Home. No, wait, yeah, Far From Home.
Yeah,
or was it Homecoming? I don't know.
There's so many.
Yeah, maybe. We know he's already set up, and the Shocker might be returning too.
Yeah,
which we've already had. Like, you had one dude who played him in Homecoming for like 5 minutes, and then
I'd like to see. I can't remember the actor's name, but I'd like to see him come back. And here's the deal: Kingpin would be awesome to integrate into Spider-Man after Daredevil.
It was Matt Gargan who ended up with the Shocker stuff at the end.
Yeah.
So unless we have a Shocker Scorpion combo, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay. I want to say something. I kind of got news about Kingpin. So, rumors are rumors. The current rumor is that Kingpin will not be in Spider-Man 4 supposedly now. He's going to be in the next trilogy. Looks like there might be another trilogy of I know what you're thinking.
That's like,
listen, I'm just following my sources, so anything can happen, gentlemen.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? We're excited for anything to happen. Because again, that's what makes this segment so fun. The rumor segment right here. But we're past the rumor segment, and we're finally here from what the image is teasing.
So
time out on a scale of 1 to 10, Joe. How excited are you about this big news Josh will be announcing?
On a scale from 1 to 10.
No, Joe.
No, 1 from 10. No, I'm saying on the scale.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I'm at like a nice solid 8.5 white pages.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I'm going to round it out to 9 because the way you talk to us, you're like, guys, I have some really cool news to talk about. So let's hear it. Everybody's here. You got 20 million people right now.
All right. So this is breaking news. Nobody knows about this at all. I'm so excited to announce this. Stay until the end of Fresh from the Comic Book Shop because I managed to pick up a massive grail for the PC. I can't wait to show you guys.
That's not that big of a. I thought you had something else going on.
You guys might have some inside sources yourself, I see. All right, so the other big news, it's something that it just happened overnight. Actually, it didn't even happen. It happened in like a 45-minute car ride. But, man, I fell in love with just how amazing this community is and how great you guys are. And
no, that's not how you. No, that's not what you.
That's not it.
That's not what you framed to us at all. It actually.
Yeah. What I think you're trying to skirt the question here. What
is the big news, Josh?
You got something going on in your life.
Oh, that big news. Let me tell you something, guys, right here. I just called Geico and I saved a bunch of money on my car.
Josh, you sent an image in. Stop. You sent an image in that we have not put up yet. We haven't even taken a look at. We're going to put it up now. What is going on, Josh? Here we go. Ready?
Let's I don't know. Let's look at it.
Josh.
What is that, Josh?
Dude, are you serious?
Are you kidding me?
What? Who
That's Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
What
are you doing with her?
Dude. I know who that is, but I don't think that's me.
Josh, come on.
That's literally you.
No, come on,
playing
guys.
games.
No, come on, guys. Look at that guy and then look at me. Bring me back. Can you bring me back real quick?
Josh, that's you.
Look at me.
That's
Look
you.
at that guy. I don't know, guys.
You
I don't
submitted this picture in. You're excited to talk about this. Now, obviously, you're walking it back, trying to get out of it. What are you doing with Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
Yeah, listen, for those of you who don't know, we have a little bit of, let's call it beef. In reality, it is an ongoing legal situation.
No, you know what, Joe? It's more than just beef, okay? Let me tell you something. I love Chet G-Pot. He was my best friend. I knew him since first grade. We grew up together. But you know what? He broke the bro code. You know what he did to me, gentlemen?
What?
There was a 12-pack of grape soda in my fridge. I came home one night. There was one can left. I had a 8-hour shift at work that was just destroying me on the inside. I wanted that grape soda.
I can't do this.
I craved the grape soda.
Josh, yes or no? Are you with Tiffany Amber Thiessen? Are you guys together? Are you guys a couple? Answer the damn question because we got some things to talk about right now.
We're I don't know what we are, gentlemen.
Okay.
All I know is
at
that
the very least you're friendly. At worst, you're definitely engaged with her because here's the deal. Let me remind you of something that happened. We got a nasty voicemail from her.
This is Tiffany Thiessen G-Pot, Chet's wife, and let me tell you, I am beyond livid. What kind of Mickey Mouse operation are you running over there at Comic Book Canon? News travels fast, even to California, and let me assure you, I did not hear about my husband's heroic sacrifice from you two. Chet would not have thrown himself into some digital gladiatorial arena to save your precious show without telling me. He may have been a passionate goofball, but he wasn't suicidal. The least you could have done was notify his next of kin. Instead, I find out through his fan club that my husband is gone? Unacceptable. Let me be perfectly clear. I will not stand for this. You will be hearing from my lawyers. Consider this a formal notice of intent to sue. You took my husband from me, and now you're gonna pay.
So we have a wrongful death suit against us, and you're out there. You're part of this team. You're out there meandering with her.
Living with the enemy, huh?
Look.
We should have known about that. Chet was your
gentlemen.
best friend. Do you remember this?
What can I say about Chet G-Pot?
I thought you were up at the top there. Let's bring in the honorable.
You don't understand, Jeff. You know what it's like to
Dan, what's going on here legally? What do we have going on here? We have a wrongful death lawsuit against the Canon. Obviously, there's something going on with Josh and Tiffany Amber Thiessen. That's probably inappropriate at best. Am I right?
Very much so. I mean, this very much complicates the matter. First of all, I want to can you bring up that picture again? What is that? Why is she way behind Josh? Where's her right hand, or what is the right hand doing behind Josh? That looks a little suspicious. I'm sorry, that's to decide here. Yeah, that's a little creepy for me. She's a little too. And look at the smirk on her face. Look at the smirk on Josh's face. Josh, what is going on? Is there something amiss that you need to confess right now? It would help out your case. Trust me. If you come forward, come clean.
All I'm going to say is, gentlemen, you guys weren't there to have my back when I was down at my lowest. Okay?
Hey, she's got your back. She's got your back right now. We got physical proof of that.
Yeah, we do.
She's
got more than your back.
She's got a little bit more than my back. I'm just going to be honest, okay?
I can't do this anymore.
Whoa.
Listen,
Look.
you have a contract. We can't get rid of you until we talk to the legal department. So until then, we can't have you a part of the show right now. We can't. Judge De La Torre, we'll see you later. We appreciate you jumping in, just giving your opinion here. We're going to move on with the show because this show is about community, right? We stick up for each other. We stand by each other. We do not do anything to tear us apart, which is exactly what Josh has done. And I'm really upset about it. I'm not having it anymore.
Yeah. He crossed the line, not only disrespecting Chet, but also putting us in a really awkward situation where, we're being sued by someone who he's now having quite potentially carnal relations with. Excuse me, Josh, come on.
And again, your best friend's wife? Come on. We're going to move on here from the news. I want to get as far away from this as possible and start talking about you find people in the community. Let's say hello to everybody. While we're doing that, put in some questions for Ask Joe.
And Jeff.
And maybe Josh. Maybe Mr. Tom. I missed a couple of seats. Yeah, it's been a lot. So Mr. Tom Freak, hello, how are you? We got Bond.
Paul Bond.
We got, obviously, the Honorable Dan De La Torre. We got Cable Leland, who you will learn more about in a hot second here. Dr. Plagueis. He's taking one for the team and saving the cannon? No. We got Nukes Comics. He's like, thank God we got rid of Josh there. That was awful. We got Alexia George. You tell me I missed the Kelly Kapowski at the sale. No, Josh was obviously hiding her. I don't think anybody saw her. Come on. Like, Chris, I sent you the link. Hop on in.
Chris.
We'd love to see you. Chris. Okay, anyway. That was terrible. Who else do we have? Oh, we got the wonderful Dr. Frankenstein, a.k.a. Shelby, a.k.a. Joe's wife. Who else do we have? Who else? T-Shoe in the house. We got Pope at Chillytown saying that Sony needs to just walk. I mean, yes, but can you see them be like, you know what? We haven't done a great job. Spider-Man's yours, Marvel.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, wipe their hands. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. We got, who else do we have? I know Jim is in here. Who else? Where's Jim? I saw Jim. I swear I saw Jim. Bronzeville Comics is Jim. I've watched the first 3 episodes. Very good and so depraved. Talking about the boys. Who else? We got a good number of people. Scruffy Comics. Mortal Scruffy in the house. Kaboom Comics. Hello, Jeff, Joe. I'm not going to read that other name. We got Josh's Comics. Yeah. Jaggy. Great. Nikita Kari in the house. Great crew. We got a great crew tonight. Great crew. Sorry we had to dive into that drama. Really not happy with that. We do have an Ask Joe and Ask Jeff. So get those questions in right now as we learn about Caleb Leland, a.k.a. Cable Leland, through the comic book canon popcorn. Who will be next to take the reins of the popcorn as well? Here it goes.
Hey, comic fam, this is Caleb Leland, real_Caleb Leland at Instagram. I'm from Hampton, Iowa. My first issue, I honestly don't remember because I grew up with comic books all around me. But it was probably a late 70s Batman and Archie comic or some good Bronze Age horror. A fun fact about me is I'm an aspiring writer, so hopefully someday you'll see me on bookshelves having written a great American novel. For me, the community is a celebration of escapism. Comic books were always there for me to be able to get away from the real world and everything that was bringing me down. It was a way for me to just break away from that reality. And that's what I love, being able to discuss those comic books with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Justin at Raising Elm Comics. The gauntlet has been thrown.
I'll tell you what, these popcorns are great. It's getting to know all you fine people from behind your handle and getting to really get down. It's a minute long, but I feel like we truly know you people, but seeing your face, talking about yourself really kind of brings it to another level. And I love these popcorns. So Justin, Raising Elm, You are next. I'm very excited to see what you do because if it's anywhere close to what you do for Fresh from the Comic Shop, we are in for an absolute treat. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, that was good. But you know what's even better than your response just now?
What's that?
The jingle.
Ask Joe and Jeff.
And Jeff. And me.
Here we go. Let's get into it. Get your questions in for Ask Joe.
And Jeff.
Right now we have a few questions. We only have a few. We need more. Ask Joe. CBC, how would you feel about Marvel and DC doing more crossovers with new stories? That's a really good question.
So I grew up in the mid '90s. I loved Amalgam as a kid. I had, I might have had all of them. I'm not sure, but I definitely was a massive fan of Spider-Boy, who's a crossover between Spider-Man and Connor Kent Superboy. And then also kind of the fan favorite Dark Claw, who's Wolverine and Batman, this brooding, angry, violent creature of the night with claws. Those were the top two for me. I think I at least had most of them as a kid. As long as it's done right and not done just as a cash grab, great, awesome. We actually last night my claim sale, I put up the Batman Spider-Man crossover from the mid '90s. It's got a Bagley cover, it's embossed, it's super '90s. And when I put it up, a couple people were like, "Hey, that's a great storyline," and we were talking about that. And then someone ended up buying the book and was like, "Hey, can't wait to read it." So they've done some really good crossovers and stuff like that. So I as long as it's done right and it's not just a cash grab to be like, "Oh, Marvel DC crossing over the two big companies," then I'm all for it.
Okay, I have to admit I have not read any of them.
Oh,
I know. I feel terrible. I've seen all the George Perez art and all of the cool mashups of the characters. I would like to start reading it. I have so much in my queue right now that I don't know when I'll get to it. But yeah, I'm all for it. Like again, if it's done right, if it pays tribute to what's been done before, because it's fair to say it's a fan favorite, right?
Yeah. I mean, as someone who grew up in the '90s, I love that stuff.
Yeah. So
they were cool, imaginative stories that took two characters that were well known and put them together into a new character, and didn't just copy everything about one character or the other. And they took pieces of them and also brought new stuff to the table in general.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Especially Bagley, Batman and Spider-Man really intrigues me. So I need to start checking this out. I know the Omnibus is coming out soon. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so. There have been a couple over the years. There is an omnibus. There have been a couple of trades of the Amalgam stuff as well, thicker trades.
Okay. I need to check it out. I will check it out, and I'll get back to you all. Moving on, we got Brian Klotz asking a question. Ask Joe and Jeff exactly how many $1 comics did you sell yesterday? P.S. I saw a picture of Josh sneaking out with a pile of books under his arm.
I'm gonna have to strong arm Josh.
Yeah, feel free to DM that picture. We'll get that up. There's a lot of things going on with Josh.
Yeah, we'll use that against Josh. There we go. So I put out. It was just shy of 40 long boxes. I know in my ad I said I was going to have 40 long boxes. I only made it to 38, to be honest. But I had 38 long boxes of comics put out in the morning. When I packed it all in, I had 25 left. So that means it went from 38 long boxes down to 25, about 13 long boxes. Most people that came did one of the fill-a-box deals, which, fill a short box for $75. It ends up being a little over 50 cents a book. Fill a long box for $125. You actually get them more than 50% off at less than 50 cents a book. So especially if you really pack them in there. Most people did one of those options. 13 long boxes, which equates to 3,000 books in general. Obviously I didn't make $3,000 because most people did the fill a box option, but I moved a lot. A lot of people were really happy with the inventory they got. So if they're happy, I'm happy.
No, I'm happy that it was successful, as it always is. It's always a good time hanging out on your deck, looking at comic books. So
it wasn't on the deck.
Where was it?
When I do the dollar bin sales, I don't do it on my deck. I just do it as a yard sale in my garage and driveway.
Oh, okay. Obviously,
mainly because I keep my dollar bin stuff in my garage, so it's way easier for me to just move it there than walk 40 boxes out to the deck.
Sure. Well, I'll probably be at the next Back Deck Comic Fest. If you guys have any questions for me in person, I'll be happy to answer. I will definitely be probably the reason people come is because I'll be there. So, this one. Moving on to the next question. Ask Joe and Jeff as well. Isn't love the most important thing in this world? Without love, we might as well not have anything at all. Well, there's also something called loyalty. Am I right, Joe?
Loyalty, respect, not getting us in more legal trouble than we already are in.
What you've done is like, again, we are doing a live show in front of 18 million people. We don't have time to legally handle this, but the legal team will be discussing this. Believe you me. Moving on. Nukes Comics. Ask Joe
and Jeff.
If I were to visit your respective cities, what comic shops would you recommend for a local comic shop crawl? I love this question. Joseph, go.
So I am all about my LCS, my local comic shop that I'm at least twice a week. I'm there every Monday night for Magic the Gathering. I'm there for other Magic tournaments throughout, the month, and I'm there to pick up my comic books. I'm there to shop from their wall books and their back issues, and that is Brave New Worlds. There's two locations, one in the suburbs right near me, 5 minutes from my house in Willow Grove, Pennsylvania. The other one is in Philadelphia, in the Old City area of Philadelphia, which is kind of a shopping district-y kind of area. So if you want to just park in a parking garage, take some laps around the block, see if you find any good food or cool stores. Great place to go. That is my favorite store, especially if you're into new books. They have by far the biggest selection of new books out of any store in the Philadelphia area. So big shout out to Brave New Worlds.
I gotta say, sorry, I was just replying to Chris. We may see Chris. That's actually exciting. I gotta say, All Yeah Comics in Harrison, New York, is my go-to shop. They are fantastic, really good people, super fun to just hang out, talk to. They have great sales. They have a ton of artists that come through there for signings. I just love them. I can't, Midtown is like an attraction, like a kind of a tourist attraction. I'm cool with that as well. Definitely should check out Midtown in New York City, but those are the ones that I do have. All right. We are going to ask the Honorable Dan De La Torre. He's going to ask us something, I do believe. Let's bring him in. Mr. De La Torre, how are you?
I'm doing just fine, gentlemen. And again, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you as well.
Thank you. Let me set up the question here. And I don't want this to be a gotcha question or I hate DC question. I just want to relate things across the board. Because remember, I grew up with DC. I grew up with Super Friends and so forth. We are anticipating the Deadpool movie. It's probably going to be well over $1 billion, if not more, because of the script, the history with DCU, but the MCU rather. But one of the reasons we are so anticipating is the actors. We have Hugh Jackman, who's been Wolverine for almost 25 years. We have I'm drawing a blank on his name, Deadpool.
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, thank you. An accomplished actor, a great comedian, and we've accepted him as Deadpool. But we are all going to see that movie simply based on the history, and we're hoping for an absolute gem. We probably will. You switch over to DC, however, and Zaslav, who's a money guy, he's inherited. I'm not blaming these guys and James Gunn. They've inherited a real lousy situation. They don't have any money. They are broke. They can barely promote their own movies. And I've expressed my disappointment with some of the existing actors and actresses they had. They were building up the DCU. Now they're starting over from scratch. My point is that would we be as anticipating of the Deadpool movie if they had recast both those actors, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman? The answer is obviously no. But it scoots back to the DCU because James Gunn, who again has a very limited budget, is starting with a brand new slate, a slate of actually virtually unknowns. And it's kind of like measuring a AAA or even a AA baseball team, and they're going against the major leagues. It's not going to end very well. So I wanted to explain. I'm using the Deadpool movie as an example as to why I have a less than stellar expectation with the DCU, because they don't have the gravitas, if you will. They don't have the acting chops, if you will. But the biggest problem I had with DC and Zaslav and Gunn was that they weren't honest with us. I don't like being lied to. If they didn't have the funds, and it's obvious, they should have said, "Look, guys, we are starting over again. We're on a very limited budget. We're starting a whole new cast." I would have accepted that. We all would have accepted that.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of laying out the ground floor. So again, going back to the upcoming Deadpool movie as a template, if they had recast with 2 brand new actors, we wouldn't be expecting this at all. This movie may be go upside down in costs, as opposed to making $1 billion or $1.5 billion. So I just wanted your general thoughts on that. I mean, I am not rooting against DC. If they can pull it off, great. But they're starting from the ground floor. Maybe some of these new actors and actresses will, grab our attention. Maybe they won't. Maybe the scripts will. Maybe they won't. You guys just talked about the Blade movie. Why are they struggling? With coming. Just get the damn book. Open the book. Read the story. There's everything there, and then bounce off of it. So this is sort of a general question. With the I don't think it's an unfair question or unfair statement to say DC is sort of in the AAA stage and they haven't come to the majors yet. So what is your guys' general consensus for everything I've just laid out?
So here's my view on the situation. Think about
I'd like to bring in a well-known personality from the show.
I like that.
Guarantee you he has opinions too. Christopher!
Hello. Welcome, my man.
Chris, I had to bring you in for this because I know you got opinions on this.
Well, thank you guys, and I can't stay too long. I do want to say really quick, it's just, this is so surreal to be here right now. It's amazing. I wish I could stay longer. I got my kids and my mom here, of course, and we're cooking dinner. I do want to let everyone know everything is like, I'm suffering from an extreme case of vertigo. Landed in the hospital for a few days. I'm still going through it. So everything is really spinning and shaky right now. I'm up and I'm about. I'm walking with a cane, and I took my butt in here to get on the couch to be here with you guys for a few minutes. So feels good.
Love it, man.
I love
Real
seeing
quick,
all you guys.
then, what do you think's going on? Let's just get you diving in where you left off, as you always do. What do you think about the DCU here? Let's, Dan's question.
This is so crazy. I haven't paid, with everything going on in my life for the last 6-7 months, I haven't paid attention to anything. It wasn't until like right before I had this issue with the vertigo where I went and did a live stream and started, checking out a couple YouTube videos, and I'm like, well, not much has changed. But interesting. And also I haven't even really I think over the last couple of weeks too, I've been stuck in bed. I couldn't open my eyes for a good few days, but when I finally was able to and could pay attention to TV, I watched Madam Web. I watched Outer Range, which was an awesome show. So I've been like watching some stuff finally. But Dan, I mean, yeah, such a great question. I was listening, talking about Blade. I agree. It's like, what the hell is going on? I think the when it comes to what DC has on their plate and comparing it to the Deadpool Wolverine movie is DC never had a Hugh Jackman or a Ryan Reynolds. We never. I mean, I know you have diehard, fans of Henry and Ben, but they never solidified a role like Ryan and Hugh have. So I think that is a benefit for DC, because a lot of people see if Marvel did this, like Dan was saying, if Marvel did a Deadpool and Wolverine movie without those two actors, they'd be in a frenzy. But the frenzy was already happening with DC because fans were already tired of what was going on. So actually, DC is in a better position to recast right now because that's kind of what fans were wanting. They wanted a fresh start, So it's kind of like they're in a grace period here, so they can have the ability to start fresh, you know, you don't want to bring. I love Dan. I love I love baseball. I love the baseball analogies. I don't think they want to bring up these minor league players and have them come to bat in the major leagues first. Like, let's look at this as like we're going to a minor league stadium. We're watching minor leaguers, and if they do well in that arena, then I think people are going to be happy. So I think that's where they're starting, and that's a good point for them. And I will end it saying this. I personally, as a fan of all this stuff, obviously that's never changed. When we do content creation, when we make videos or we do live shows like this and we're inundated with it constantly because in a sense it's our job, we take in everything. We take in our own opinions, we take in the chats, we take in the comments, we take in the social media and the community. And boy, does that get tiring, like one way or another. So what I have learned is that being away from all that has given me a fresh kind of, a fresh soil to turn when it comes to my own perception. And I'll give an example, Madam Web. I was out of all this for so long, went through so much of my life. When I watched Madam Web, I wasn't sitting there, okay, Sony, let's see how you ruin this one. And guess what? I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, except for one complaint, which was a big complaint, the casting for Ezekiel. That was the most horrible, like every scene he was in, I just cringed, but I didn't mind it and I was entertained. So I think, again, one thing, if fans can just try to just shut everything off for a moment and go into these things without any expectations and just try to be entertained without, setting the bar so high, I think we need to like scale back and get to that a little bit, in my personal opinion. So there you go.
All right.
That's well said, to be honest. That's a completely different perspective that nobody has the luxury really of enjoying in terms of like the social, how inundated we are with social media. Joe, you did have some thoughts. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, think about the MC when it first started. Think about the original Avengers team. We had Robert Downey Jr., who was kind of a veteran actor, but had a huge downfall and multiple arrests, stuff like that. And the only movie that I can really think about him being in recently before Iron Man was Charlie Bartlett, like a C comedy movie. Then Scarlett Johansson was an up and comer. She was popular in a bunch of movies prior. Chris Evans was in like Not Another Teen Movie and a bunch of crap before that. And what's his name? Chris Hemsworth was in like a bunch of Australian stuff, but he wasn't super popular in America yet. He was just kind of coming into it when he took on the role of Thor. And Chris Pratt was Andy on Parks and Rec. Like these were not A-list actors coming into these roles. They're A-list actors now, absolutely, because of these roles. I would love to see that. I would love to see them get someone, maybe not as well known, maybe not the A-list accomplished actor, but get someone with the acting chops, someone that knows the character, can dive into the character and become that character. Take on these new roles. This guy, this David Cornsweet, I've never seen him in anything. Mm-hmm. But if he's going to be Clark Kent and he's going to be Superman, I'm all for that.
Sure.
Let's not forget Tom Hiddleston, because he was also virtually an unknown. The point is well taken. I gotta say,
Dan, this real quick is that like DCEU had a great start with Man of Steel with Henry Cavill. I never saw him in anything before that. And they had a great cornerstone to build off of. What they did was they took for granted these characters, these properties, and thought, hey, we could just produce this and they'll come. They'll just come. Look at what Marvel's doing. We can do that. No, you can't take that for granted because you got to put the work in and understand what it takes to make this happen. And they did not do it correctly. So hopefully, just as Joe said, that they're starting kind of similarly to what Marvel did, because we want to see this succeed. The four of us, including I don't really want to say his name, but we have to, Josh. The five of us want to. Let's bring him in real quick. Want to see this succeed, and you got to start somewhere.
All true.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm not worried that they don't have a Hugh Jackman and a Ryan Reynolds. I'd like to see the build up rather than, we already saw like Affleck was a pretty decent Batman. He's a popular, I would call him an A-list actor. But he didn't do anything phenomenal with the role. I don't think he was given the opportunity to really. But at the same time, like I would rather see the build up, and I would rather see someone become that character like we saw with the original Avengers team.
I will say that they did build up Henry Cavill, not because of the script, because of Cavill himself and his acting ability. I accepted him as Superman. It's an extremely difficult role to play. They had tried several incarnations. None of them really gelled with me. He did. And so again, Superman is still DC's biggest. Well, actually, Batman is these days.
Yeah.
So I sort of question their choice in acting, but Superman, they finally got it. But now they're going to start over again. I wish them well. Is it going to work? I don't know.
I think we all hope it will work. I'll speak for all you guys because I know that this is what we want it to work for sure.
Sure, of course.
We got to keep moving on, though. That was a great question. We'll see you in a bit. Oh, Josh, honestly, man, you've heard a lot of people today, but go ahead. Your opinion.
I'm just going to say, you got to think, too, James Gunn wants to do a 10-year plan. So essentially, we're talking, what? It's going to be 2025 when I think the first project comes out. So we're thinking, what, 2035 is when this 10-year plan ends? Something like that?
You went to public school, didn't you? I can tell.
We're gonna all be in retirement homes by then.
I'll still be alive, by the way. I'll still be.
My point is though, like he's like, and I could sit here and fight for Zack Snyder's Justice League all day long. Ben Affleck is the best Batman. The warehouse,
kick him off.
The warehouse fight scene.
Okay,
I can't.
No, that was painful.
Oh god.
I won't have that kind of
He's
nonsense.
still talking. I can see him in the back. He's still talking. I know he was kicked off, but he's got to finish his sentence. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna try and knock out the rest of these real quick. We have actually D&T, Danny. I will be representing Josh in court and suing you guys for defamation. You guys have an actual lawyer seeing as Dan De La Torre is the judge. We have a whole team.
Bring it on, boy.
Tony
I don't
Connor.
worry about you. I don't worry about you. Come on. We're gonna eat you for lunch in court. Come on.
We're a corporation, for God's sakes. Of course we do.
We've got Anthony Quire Esquire of Redcon Comics.
Good. Mr. Tom Free, question for everyone. What two characters would you fuse into one? I can't. This is a really tough one. What?
I got it. I got a good one.
Go.
Mixia Spitalik and the Blob.
That's crazy. Do you guys have anything?
No, well, they're getting in trouble now.
Wow. Oh, geez, that's yeah, man. I mean, I'm just gonna go with one that's already done. I think they did a good job with Rogue being a mutant and then taking Carol's powers. I think that was a good.
Oh, you're going old school.
I can't think of my own though.
There was a good Spider-Man series in the Copper Age. It was Hydra Man and Sandman. That actually worked out pretty well.
Mudman.
Yep.
That's crazy. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one here. Again, or ask Joe, couldn't Josh be taking one for the team and swooning Tiffy Poo to get her to drop the lawsuit? I have another opinion on this, but go ahead, Joe.
I'm gonna say no. I think Josh is thinking with an organ that's not his brain.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to take it a step further because I think Tiffany Amber Thiessen is actually manipulating Josh, twisting his mind to get into on the inside of us to ruin us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, but this is what it's come to. Shame on you, Josh!
Listen.
Shame on you!
A man.
All right, and that there ends. Hold on. It's been a rough one.
Ask Joe. Jeff.
Yeah. All right. So, Chris, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. We know you got the Father's Day barbecue, I guess, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some barbecue going on.
Get that barbecue.
My mom's making some homemade pizza too.
This was a nice surprise. Hopefully we see more of you. And again, I'm like at a loss for words, not expecting this at all tonight.
Yeah. I will. I've been just again. I know for those that watch my live stream, I was pretty transparent with everything that I've been going on with. That's been going on in my life, and it's an uphill battle. But I first and foremost, I have summer off from my job, so I'm a little more free in my schedule. But I really miss being in somewhat a part of this community, whether it's on my channel or on here. So, I'll be popping back in over the next 2 months during the summer. So
for sure, definitely hit us up. All right, it was great seeing you. We will
Prayers
talk
and
to
love,
you
my
soon,
brother.
sir.
Prayers and love.
All right, Mr. De La Torre, we were going to bring you back. Actually, we're going to bring your not your alias. I guess you're going to get into your work clothes.
Alter ego.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be clocking in a minute.
So, okay, we'll see you soon. Josh, as for you, we'll be bringing you back in because we are contracted to because you signed a contract. Joe is spunky tonight. But Josh, just know that the legal team is watching, so be careful what you say.
I'll try.
Okay. You know what you've done.
All I know is I'm following my heart.
What
can I say?
I'm trying to find the picture, but it just hurts to see this. Joe, tell me your feelings real quick in 3 words. What do you feel like when you see this?
Betrayed, disappointed, and
betrayed,
crushed.
Shame on you, Josh. All right, we're going to get into it right now because we do this segment each and every week. Oh, geez, Joe, I can't remember the name again. I don't know.
Well, you see, folks, this right here. Let me get comfortable, situated, stretch it out. You go to a store.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a flea market, a yard sale, a con. Maybe you check out a Whatnot stream or an Instagram claim sale or something like that, and you see something that you want for your PC, something that you'd like to have in your possession that someone else owns at that time. Well, all you got to do sometimes is give them the required amount of dinero. That's Spanish for money, if you didn't know. And once you do that, they give you the item, whether they're giving it to you in person or they're shipping it to you or they're sending it via carrier pigeon. Whatever happens, it ends up at your house. And that's what we call a fresh get, a book that is new to your collection, whether the book is 3 days old or 30 years old. It is new to your collection and is fresh. Specifically, it is fresh from the comic shop.
Live from the pressing salon. That's right. We ask you each and every week, show us off your fresh gets, and you do not disappoint. And it's like you're already winning when you're showing off these fresh gets to the community, but you could win even more just by showing them off. You're submitting to win an amazing prize, monthly prize, from our proud partners, EGS and Spider Dude Comics. That's right. You can get an amazing slab each and every month for winning the finals of Fresh from the Comic Shop just by submitting. And I'm going to show you guys this. This book is outstanding. Am I right?
Oh my God. I've said this a couple times. This might be my favorite one, though.
That Joker one, that Mike Hags one.
That was a good one. I really liked it. That orange and stuff, but man.
They've stepped it up. So again, there's the customizable label. This right here is the Marvel 1000 Mark Brooks 40s cover. You got Captain America on the cover. And let me tell you something about EGS and Spider Dude Comics. Both links are down below. But with EGS, you can save 5% off using the EGS order, using the code Canon5. Optional custom labels, as you saw there, that red and yellow label, free grader's notes, and fast turnaround times. EGS grading, EGScomicsgrading.com. Please check them out. Follow, like, subscribe. They make Fresh from the Comic Shop that much more special. That much more special.
I believe it's that much more betterist.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, when we ask you to submit, we look for 3 criteria to move on to the semifinals. Joe, how are we doing it this week?
I'll take the first and last. You can take the.
Okay, go for it. Because
so
first thing is what, Joe?
First thing, the number one thing, the thing that we all see first, because it has to do with sight, seeing, visual appearance. We want something aesthetically pleasing. We want to see a cool picture. We want you to put some effort into it, whether it's the lighting, the angle, the setup of the situation, use some props, maybe use another comic book. Maybe it's an homage cover. I do like those. You guys know that.
That's French for homage.
Homage. Maybe you use some figures like Dr. Plagueis uses with those Funkos very often.
Yep.
Maybe you set it up in an area, a background that kind of has to do with the cover or the storyline in the comic book, or maybe the character or something like that. Whatever it may be, we want it to be aesthetically pleasing, awesome lighting. We don't want to see it on top of your, grandmother's old bed sheets. We don't want to see it in your dirty bathtub, and we definitely do not want to see your feet in the picture. That is the last thing that we want to see. And people elsewhere on the internet, not on Comic Book Canon, but elsewhere on the internet, might pay money to see those. So save those pictures for that website.
Keep that in mind too, because that's an extra income to buy more comic books.
Exactly.
Also, the next piece of criteria that we look for is unique. Unique doesn't mean $27,000, right, Joe?
It doesn't mean 27 or 30,000
or $30,000. No, unique means something that we haven't seen before. It doesn't have to be super expensive. It doesn't have to break the bank, but give us something unique. Mark Lineker does a great job of that. Those that send in the amazing sketch covers do a great job of that. We're going to get to that in a second to show off something in that regards. But again, unique, something we haven't seen before, something that's like, wow. That kind of blows our mind. Again, Mark Lineker does a great job with that. You all sending in those sketch covers, that's fantastic. So keep that in mind. And here is the third piece of criteria.
Third piece of material is we want to hear the story behind this book, what this book means to you. Tug at our heartstrings. Give us some emotional output into our emotional input. Let us know what this book, why it is special. Maybe a long time ago, you were a child and you went to the mall with your parents. And you know what? Every time you went to the mall with your parents, you walked past a comic book store and you were like, can I go in there? And they were like, no, we have to go to JCPenney and get you overalls, you little piece of. And then there wouldn't be time. You would have to go to the food court, get some crappy Chinese food, maybe an Annie Ann's pretzel. Your younger siblings start
Cinnabon.
You got to go home. Cinnabon, maybe, if that's your thing. But the point is, you didn't get to go into that comic store. And one day, you know what? As it went, your overalls, you had a pair already. Your little sibling was old enough to not cry every 15 minutes. And you know what? You already had lunch that day, so you didn't need to hit the Chinese place at the food court. So you had a little bit of extra time, and your parents said, all right, we'll take you into the nerd store, you little piece of. And then you went in and you saw a book on the shelf, and you know what? You had never seen something like this before. You had seen Batman. You knew Batman, but you didn't know that there were Batman books with pictures. You're just a little kid. You didn't even know the word comic book is. You just saw the superheroes and you wanted to be in there. And guess what? You took that Batman book off the shelf, and it was Batman 423. It was that first Todd McFarlane, not first Todd McFarlane, but that beautiful Todd McFarlane cover that everyone loves so much. Honestly, it's the most overrated book ever, but that is perfectly fine because it's a pretty gosh darn cool cover. Yeah. You took that book off the shelf, and you know what? You went to bring it home, but on the way out, you gotta stop by the Annie Ann's pretzel, and you know what? You were eating your pretzel with one hand. You were eating or
Can I,
reading a comic.
Those are buttery pretzels, aren't
They're there. That's the point of this story. I'm getting there, Jeff.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You've had some margaritas. I know you're on top of it.
Want more?
Anyway, at one point you put the things down because you needed a napkin, and accidentally, instead of picking up a napkin, you pick up your Batman 423. You get butter all over it. Your parents say, "Why'd you do that, you little?" And then they make you throw it away. So you didn't even get to finish reading it. But you know what? You remembered that cover. You remembered that book. And many, many years later, you have an adult job. And you know what you're going to do at your adult job? You're going to do adult things to get adult money. And you're going to use that adult money to buy whatever the crap you want. And know what it is? Batman 423. That's what you want because your childhood was ruined. You've been in therapy for 27 years trying to recover from that one instance. And you know what? It's time. It's time to come full circle, get that book back, and be able to tell your therapist to F off. Anyway, you get the book. Tell us that story.
That's a fantastic story. That was so well done. And I see the picture in my head because what you would submit, if that was actually a true story, if that was actually something that happened to you, you would take that book, you'd put it down, you'd have an Auntie M's pretzel right there, and you'd have a jar of melted butter. And right there, telling the story. Imagine that. That is presentation. That's a fantastic story, not quite unique, but that's what we want to see right there. Perfect example. So we're going to get right into it. Well done, Joe. That was probably the best one out of all of the stories we've both ever told. I love it.
Shucks, stop
because once you said Auntie M's, I'm like, shit, that's very buttery. That
buttery pretzels, yeah.
You do not want to touch those. Anyways, moving on. We had a winner last week. What the heck happened here? I'm just gonna bring it up because I could have sworn I posted. Anyways, that's right. It was Super Crispy Comics with this book right here. 68% of the vote over Danny and Tessa's Batman setup. Guys, this is what we're talking about. A unique book. This is even more special because Kaboom Comics sketched this cover. It's outstanding. This cover is outstanding. So well done. Supercrispy.comics. You are moving on to the finals. Whew. Okay. So here we are. We're going to get right into it, starting off with Nukes Comics. This is not cool, Broseph. It's not here. I'm going to bring it up. I don't understand why it does not carry it over, but I swear I will bring it in and we'll make it all good. Right, Joe? Right. I'm just going to keep talking just to talk. How's that sound?
It was here at some point, and maybe it disappeared, but we're going to get it back because that's what we do here on the game.
Terry, you were a teacher once, weren't you? Yes, you were. Here we go. Fresh from the comic shop, Amazing Spider-Man number 11. Someone has resurrected the mantle of the Hobgoblin, but who could be if all known suspects have alibis? The real question is who controls the Hobgoblin? I picked this up from DBS. Who says run-fills can't be fun-filled? Good stuff indeed. Happy Father's Day to all the CBC dads. That is right. I do enjoy this. I've enjoyed this series. A lot of people are kind of shitting on this series as well. But this was a fun kind of arc right here. So well done, Nukes. Picking that up. Nice shot as well. That's aesthetically pleasing. Moving. Okay, so Joseph, how about we have you show off your first fresh sketch?
Sure. Yeah. Now I mentioned earlier that there was a Blade the Vampire Hunter related book. Well, this book popped out, and this is the only comic book that I bought today at the flea market. It's very rare that I only will buy one book. It's usually you come up empty-handed or you find a couple. Found this one book in a dollar bin. Thought, hey, this is a cool cover. Let's get this book. This is Buffy the Vampire, Season 9, Episode 6, or Issue 6.
Ooh, look at that cover.
It is an homage to Blade's first appearance in Tomb of Dracula number 10. And I thought that was really cool. And I was like, oh, you know what, $1? I'm going to take this. Someone's going to want this. Sure enough, I looked this book up, and it sells for between $10 and $15 because of the cool homage cover. So, you know, great buy. I'm going to pass it on to someone else who's into Buffy. I've already got my $10 sticker on it. And yeah, that'll be up in my next claim sale. In addition to this book, though, at that flea market, I did buy a violin today. Why? It was $20.
Oh, is it playable?
Yes.
I hope so. That's great. $20 violin. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculously cheap. So
that's what I said.
I hope you get that up and playing, up and ready to go. All right, moving on. We got Raising Elm, and Raising Elm did it again. Howdy, comic fam. I am a sucker for comics with abstract cover art, which breaks the conventional limitations of the page. I.e. Thor issue 337, where Beta Ray Bill breaks the cover with Jordan. Additionally, comics with multiple first appearances of new characters, no matter how relevant they may become to pop culture, are a must in my collection. This recent pickup of Avengers No Surrender Legacy issue 676 checks both of those boxes. Admittedly, I was a bit stumped on how to present this week's submission. That is until I started incorporating my new BCW dividers into my PC. The visual was there in front of me the whole time. I want to give a shout out to both my beautiful wife, Randrian83, and my good friend Nori Jordan for providing their seal of approval on this submission. Happy Father's Day to all of you with youngsters. Much love, comic fam. Joe, he did it again.
Yeah, this is something. This is meta. I think you were the one that commented on it, right?
Exactly what it is. It's totally. It's like
it is meta, which is, for those who don't know, if you zoom in here, the middle, this comic book has a comic book on the cover, and this is now a picture of a comic being held with a picture of. This is Comicception right here.
Yo, Nuke said it. He said Inception.
Yeah, Inception level. There we go.
Wow, that's like it is. Jesus, he did it again, dude. And last week we didn't even know he was doing something, and he did something. Yeah. So, anyways, well done, Raising Elm. Well done. I love that one.
I will say this: that would be the winner this week if he was eligible. At least I would be voting for him.
Eligible.
He's not. No, he didn't win last week. The ghost thing.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
SuperCrispy.comics did, because remember we had the additional Kaboom comics part of the community made that.
I gotta see the rest, but I'll be honest.
Let's just stop right there. We will stop. I'm going to be showing off my fresh get right now because I got an order from Dark Dominion Comics. We're going to start off with Blood Squad 7. I was very interested in hearing about this issue. It's basically a team from the 90s that you revisit again. I think it's a fictional team from the 90s, but I was excited to read it because it says after 30 years. The brand is back. So I think it's a fun play on what the 90s were in terms of comic books. So right. I'm excited to read this. So I picked that up. I got that in the mail as well as some other things. I have not visited my comic shop in a few weeks. Here we go. Moving on. We got Nori Jordan in the house, who is not eligible. I don't believe. I decided to get creative this week and show off a beautiful copy of Strange Tales 141. This book has nothing to do with the Thunderbolts. Okay, who am I kidding? Strange Tales 141 is the first appearance of Norbert Ebersol, a.k.a. The Fixer. Eventually, Fixer becomes one of the founding members of the Thunderbolts as Techno. He was a great character and for a long time stayed loyal to Zemo and the ambitions, of a villain. Techno took numerous forms, and his ability to adapt kept him alive. On to next week. Take care, everyone. I like that. I like that submission a lot. Joseph, your second fresh get of the week.
Second fresh get of the week. This is a book. I don't talk too much about speculating or anything like that. I know I've done a couple YouTube videos way back when on speculation when the market was kind of going crazy. I don't really do that too much anymore because it doesn't really go crazy like that anymore. I will say, I think this next book is undervalued, underappreciated. And I think that this book is a great book to have in your collection, whether you want to read it, whether you want to collect it, whether you want to have it as a potential, quote unquote investment. Obviously, nothing I'm saying here is financial advice by any means, but I think this is just a great book, especially given the future of the MCU. And that is Marvel Now, .1, number 1, or rather all new Marvel Now, .1, number 1. That's the official name. This is the first appearance of Kamala Khan. This book obviously went to the high heavens during the big speculation period before she showed up in the MCU. And now, after she's made some appearances, it has come down the whole market has come down. The hype of the characters coming to the MCU has come down. This book, near mint, you can buy this book, no joke, near mint for like $25 or $30. In fact, I spent $20 on this one right here, and it's a sharp copy. Like I said, it's really underrated in my opinion. This is a fan favorite character as far as the comic books go, and in my opinion, as far as the movies, she is the best thing that we've had since the the kind of the reset post Endgame and post No Way Home. She is by far the best new character that has come in. Watching her stuff has been really, really fun. I really enjoyed her show. The Marvels movie was not great, but she was the best part of it by far. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with it that's seen it. The movie, not so great. Villain, really not anything to...
Not even memorable.
Not memorable at all. Don't even remember the villain's name. But Kamala Khan was the best part of the movie. Iman Vellani is phenomenal. She is that character. She literally has been a fan of that character since long before her, being cast in the role. And she knows the character. She's written the character in the comics at this point, co-written. So this book, in my opinion, it's a solid book for the future. This one will not be going anywhere. In fact, not gonna lie, I've got multiple copies of that in my PC because I think it's an important book that people overlook.
I 100% agree with you on that. Also, the blue cover second printing, which is a lower print run than that one. So I don't know, man.
Those too, yeah.
I think this book will have its day, but it's definitely come down. I think it's, it was probably way too high, but it's come down way too low at this point. And
I agree. For a modern book, it was too high. So was every other modern book. Every other book in comics was too high. There was just too much hype around the MCU and stuff. But yeah, I agree. I think it's come down to lower than where it quote unquote should be.
For sure. But she's a fan favorite. I love how the actress Amani, she's so passionate about it to the point where she's writing the books. It's a great story. It's just a great story. I'm very happy to see where it is right now. Speaking of right about now, Mr. No,
I think you're gonna sing Right Now by SR-71.
No, I'm trying to find Dr. Plagueis's submission here, and it's not here. I don't understand.
Dr. Plagueis.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up right now on the Instagrams, and Joe, you're going to sing more Dr. Plagueis.
Yo, Dr. Plagueis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, come on. I was getting my own beat. What are you doing?
Sorry, I'm messing it up.
You're covering my beat with some crap beat.
Not cool. I'm a drummer. All right, here we go. Vintage Dr. Plagueis right here. This week for Comic Book Canon, fresh from the comic shop, I got to share this Silver Surfer 3, which has been a long-standing book on my want list. I picked up this awesome copy from a fellow... That was good. Joe texted me, and you can't see it. From a fellow... from a fellow, oh my God, you're ruining them. From fellow canon member, the one and only Bond.
Paul
Bond. I'm trying to hide this. The comic community, for the most part, is great, but there is no community quite like the canon community. That's so sweet to say. One of the highlights of my week, almost every week, is spending my Sunday evening nerding out with you guys. Apologies for having to show it like that, especially with Joe texting me funny things that I hope did not make air. But
no, they didn't. I'm really upset that they didn't.
No, you see, because I got it going like that. Anyways, so well done there, Dr. Plagueis and Bond, Paul Bond. My second fresh get of the week. Oh, well, I'm in this mode anyways. Another pickup from Dr. Ming Comics. I wanted to get this. I don't know. The Brainiac Queen, this first appearance here. Superman number 14. Also, it's a sweet cover of Lobo versus Superman. That cover's awesome. I mean, I love that cover.
Yeah, that is so weird. Who did that cover? Is that Terry Dodson?
I don't know. No, it's not Dodson. I don't know. It's
The signature looked like Dodson. Let me see it again. Sanchez is definitely the name underneath. Sandoval, maybe.
I don't know. If anybody
Sandoval
knows in the chat, let us know
Sure.
because I don't know. Maybe I'll pull this book open next time you show your book and make it. But I love the cover. Love that cover. All right, moving on. We have, speaking of Bond,
Ooh,
Paul Bond.
we have something from Briscoe Comics. Who is Bond? Paul Bond. I had planned to do a Fresh from the Comic Shop this week to show off my completed Joker Batman cover run from the Golden Age setup into the Bronze Age, but then I realized I still had one at CGC. I picked up the last issue for the Joker run that I needed, issue number 66 from Crime City Comics. So I decided to pivot and display the majority of my Batman PC and keep mentioning. Growing up as a child, I was a huge Batman fan, being 7 years old when Jack Nicholson first portrayed the Joker on the big screen. The Batman movie was one of the biggest events in pop culture that I truly connected to and remember so vividly from my childhood. I mean, who doesn't remember hunting for that Batman action figure when it came out and was next to impossible to find? For me, it was in Ocean City, New Jersey on vacation, and my dad finally found us that Batman figure. But who was this larger-than-life clown that was so angry at the world? At 7, this Batman film was also my first introduction into this maniacal madman they called the Joker. I instantly became enthralled with the character and became a fan to the point where I even had them tailor my high school prom suit to be a purple coat and a green vest in homage of the Joker. I am overjoyed to complete. Oh, by the way, I am overjoyed to complete this Batman Joker cover run. I may start working on the detective run, but that may not be a reality. But for now, this will suffice. Oh, so good. I want to see what his date looked like if he dressed like that. Well done, Bond.
Paul Bond.
All right. It pains me to do this, but we're going to have to bring Josh up because we said we would to share a grail. Josh.
First, I want to say, Joe, your camera's a little out of focus, I think.
You're right, it is.
He has nothing nice to say ever.
But
why is that like that?
Yeah, I got a massive grail that I just acquired thanks to our gentleman over here, 360 Comics.
That's me.
Yeah.
Well, here it is, Josh. Ready? Put your hands up. I'm gonna
let me come over here and grab it. You ready?
Yeah.
Send it down to me, buddy.
All right.
Woo.
Well done, guys. That was like magic.
So, you're probably wondering what this book is. It's Detective Comics 359, the $1 million debut of Batgirl. It is the first appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. I'm extremely happy to own this. This is not a book that I thought I would have in my collection for a long time. It's pretty expensive, especially in low grade. And 360 Comics, aka Joe here on the Canon, had this for a great deal. And knowing that Barb's is probably going to end up showing up in the DCU at some point, and knowing this book is going to skyrocket again, and it's already, like I said, pricey at low grade, he gave me a good offer on it. And I was happy to find it in his dollar bins. You know, it was an amazing find. So I wish I found the dollar bins, but yeah, and it's also a bit of an underrated key too, I feel like, because while it is the debut of Barbara Gordon, it's also the first appearance of Killer Moth in the Silver Age. So it is a bit of it's a checklist for me, because that's also a Silver Age villain that I wanted to acquire for his first appearance in the Silver Age. Obviously, the first Golden Age appearance, or his first ever appearance, is a bit too expensive, but yeah. So shout out to Joe. I'm really happy with this, and can't afford to pay my groceries, or maybe my electric bill might shut off anytime. But hey, it is what it is, man. You got like this. Let's be real. Groceries and food and electric bills, they're always there. But this is a once in a lifetime opportunity right here. So again, thank you to Joe, and
that's how it's done in the community. Also, Josh, I heard there's a movie coming out on Batgirl.
I hate to tell you this. It was canceled.
Nobody cancels films.
Like 3 years ago.
They spent all that money. What? Anyways, moving on. We are done with the submissions here. So, Josh, we're going to keep you on just for the hell of it because you're going to be our punching bag because you totally screwed us over. But I'm going to share. Is this? Wait, Joe, did you do your third fresh get?
I haven't yet. No.
Let's do it.
Sure. This is a pickup that I got in a kind of a tradey situation with Bond. Paul Bond. He came over and I had owed him some credit from a previous trade that we did, and he came over and got some stuff, and we did another trade. Now I still owe him some more credit because he went home and he realized that one of the books had color touch that neither of us had seen before, nor the person who I bought it from. So, yeah, that happens sometimes. Anyway, this is a book for the PC, one of my pre-code horror runs that I collect, Haunt of Fear. This is issue number 18, 1943, nice. A 3.5, which, you know, for this book, this run, I'm trying to get everything 3.0 and above right now. So this is perfect, right in that above 3.0 line. This has a Ray Bradbury story in it, as well as a biography of Ray Bradbury. It has a Graham Ingalls cover, and those of you who don't know who Graham Ingalls is, Golden Age, mostly horror artist. And the cool thing, he signs his name as Ghastly. And I think that's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
One of my favorite Pokemon, the Ghastly evolutions, Ghastly Haunter, Gengar. That's my favorite Pokemon evolution. Some of the OG 150s. So yeah, really cool. Bill Gaines and Al Feldstein stories. Bill Gaines being the owner of EC, and Al Feldstein being one of the main contributors. And then artwork by George Evans, Jack Kamen, and of course Jack Davis. Again,
a beautiful
great
book,
pre-code horror book.
That says Joe all over it. All right, my last fresh get of the week here. Not fun. It was a hot book for the week, but honestly, it I just love what it means now after seeing the X-Men animated series. You got the X-Men number 2 variant right here. Look at that cover. It's just the animation cover. It is just gorgeous.
Who did that cover? That's sweet.
Here we go again. I don't know.
Oh, of course. Squiggly AV. I love it.
You got the squiggly AV.
That's cool. It's almost like an homage to X-Men 24 from the 90s, the Gambit.
Right. No, I saw somebody post that too. It's really cool looking.
Yeah.
Now, does that like tell the same story from the show, or is it different stories?
No, it's a different story.
Oh, okay, cool.
Different story, yeah. But it was very timely when that issue came out because a certain episode. You know what I mean?
Timely. I get it.
Yes. All right. So here we are, guys. Josh, you have no say, but we're going to bring in the Honorable Dan De La Torre, Judge De La Torre. Good evening, sir.
Hear ye. Court is now in session. Gentlemen, present your case.
Thank you for joining us. We have a few submissions here, Judge, that we would like to bring to your attention. And ultimately, hopefully, we pick a semifinalist that's going to move on to go against next week's semifinalists. Are you okay with that?
I am. Question first. Is anyone ineligible this week?
Yeah, everyone that's won so far.
Here we go. We have this handy dandy checklist, which we got to make it look nicer. It doesn't look nice at all. We have Mike Haggs. We have Plagueis is ineligible. We have Mon Comics, and then we have Nukes. And Kaboom Comics is new to the list as well. They are all ineligible, Judge.
So Nukes is out. Okay.
Yes. Great. Okay, so here we go. So I have 3 here that stick out to me. Joe, I don't know how many you have. Josh, you are just...
I actually got one that really... Well, I got 2, but I don't think one is...
But you don't have any say because, again, you've lost all privileges.
Okay.
Let's mute this guy. All right, Josh is muted. So, yeah, I mean, I have a couple that stick out to me. Really like Dr. Plagueis this week.
Me too.
For a couple reasons.
I can't bring it up because for some reason...
Oh, right. That's the one that you didn't have up. Well, I like Dr. Plagueis. Not only is it the classic Plagueis, you know, there we go. Boom. The classic Plagueis, but the colors on this work perfectly. Like the colors of that
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like a bust statue there. It matches perfectly with the actual book itself, which I mean that works so
Very
well. And the fact that he got it from another community member, book that he got from
That's a big deal.
Bond, Paul Bond.
Paul Bond.
I love
yeah,
hearing that.
awesome stuff. So yeah, that one kind of pulled the heartstrings in that way, and definitely is aesthetically pleasing. So I that one stood out to me for sure.
That was not on my list, but one that was just because of what Batman means to him was Paul Bond. Especially with his, he was just going all out on the Joker, which made Jack Nicholson left an impression on him so much that he had to dress like him for his prom. So I that one definitely stood out to me as well. Joseph, another one from you.
Raising Hell, man.
That's on my list.
I thought he wasn't eligible, but this is phenomenal. The fact that not only is this, it's meta, it's extremely unique here. We have this book inside a book inside a book, and the feeling. You all know the feeling. You all collect comic books, holding in your hands a grail or holding in your hands a book that you've been seeking for a while or whatever it may be. It's an awesome feeling. This is someone holding an Avengers 1 on the cover of this Avengers comic, and the attention to detail here is so phenomenal. From the barcode to the trade dress being FFTCH, not FFTCS, excuse me. Not just that. Look at what issue number it is. It's 186, which is the episode number of comic book canon.
It's 686, I think.
No, look at the number.
Oh, I see what you're
on the
saying.
book.
My bad. But even the placement of the hands. Look at the placement of the hands.
Oh, it's perfect.
How intentional it is. Like he's making. I hate to say this, everybody, but he's making fresh from the comic shop in art form.
And look, Jeff, Joe, and Chris are the creators.
Like it's unfreaking believable. Like I'm blown away by this one, and obviously we're like showing our cards here, but like that was on both of our lists. I'll just do another one that was on my list, which was who was it? I guess that was it actually. I thought I had 3. Maybe you said the other one, but I don't know. Joe, do you have anything else you want to say about anybody else's submissions?
I'm just waiting to see what you guys, if you weigh it.
No, excuse me, Judge. Respectfully, I think you're interrupting us.
You asked me a question. Here, sir.
Sorry, Judge.
We are waiting. The contempt signing is ready to. So, guys, what do you guys want to do? It's between you guys. If you are fighting out between two, that's when I'd come in. I'm waiting for you two to sort of weigh it out.
I don't think we're fighting between anything.
We're definitely not fighting. We're definitely not fighting. We're like in agreement.
We're fighting with Josh.
Are there two that stand out? Are you on the fence about two, or you just what do you want? What's your final say before I weigh in?
I think it's Raising Elm for sure.
Raising Elm by a lot. Like it's like one of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah, certainly one of the coolest.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, it's always better when you guys settle this yourself rather than me interject. That's what I'd like to see.
But you still collect that paycheck. I'm not resentful. I am not resentful, but you do still collect the paycheck.
Hey, I got to pay my rent like everybody else, so that's just the way it is.
It's true. Sorry, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Raising Elm it is then. So that is the final decision. I will certify this. Case dismissed.
Raising Elm, you are moving on to the semifinals as you have done many, many times with this amazing, amazing submission. You've done, like, honestly, it's just kudos to you. Yeah. This has been a crazy episode for a Father's Day. Again, viewership is a little bit low tonight because of Father's Day, we're assuming, or maybe people are just sick of the shenanigans. I'm not. Joe's not. Josh is not. The Honorable Dan De La Torre is not. But it's so great to see Christopher, pillar of this community. He started Comic Book Canon with me. And, it's just a joy to be doing this every week with Joe, having Josh incorporated and Dan. It's just a true pleasure. I hope all of you fathers out there, or those who celebrate your fathers, had an incredible day today. We truly appreciate you just spending time with us.
Before you end it, sir, I have to interject something to our sponsor, EGS. I talked to Tony Trombata earlier this week. There has been a slowdown in his turnaround, and the reason why is he has moved his facility. He's bought, I think, a bigger facility, so he moving in, which is I'm just doing here. It's an incredible, daunting task. So he said so on his website. So if there's a delay, please understand he's re-gearing. He's putting all his effort into his company. So he will get back on track ASAP.
But his delays are nowhere near any other bad delays with the bigger companies.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's usually very good. So he'll be back on track in no time. I have no doubt. Joseph, thoughts?
Josh, watch your back. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, as always, thank you all for being here. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. And like I said, my dad was away this weekend, but I will be hanging with him this week. I've got a lot of travel coming up. I've got some work travel. I've got some vacation travel, and I'm not going to be as active on social media kind of over the next month and a half. I'm still going to be doing claim sales whenever I can, but I'm going to be on here as much as possible. It's looking like next week I will probably be making a cameo appearance on the Canon. Okay. But expect a good show even in my absence. I promise. I know most of you come here to see me. I'm the prettiest one, but still support these other guys too when I'm not here. Yeah. But yeah, as always, thank you for being here, giving us this time, this 2 hours of your life to watch the Canon. Thank you for submitting to Fresh from the Comic Shop, and those of you who submit the other ones. We got a popcorn coming up again next week. Always excited about that. That was a very cool idea, and I'm glad we're keeping it going. So yeah, thank you all.
So I just gotta give Josh the final word. If you want to just one last chance to explain yourself here.
I think we can leave that alone for the night. And I just want to say to everybody out there, happy Father's Day. Another great show. And to all of us who are going to catch us on the rewind, happy Father's Day. And we'll see you next week. And I appreciate the love and support. And please like, subscribe, follow Comic Book Canon on here and Instagram.
Facts. Josh, we love you, man, but we're just really, really.
Jeff, you mentioned that I'm not a father.
No, we're disappointed in you. I never
said.
No.
I'm just saying earlier, considering I'm not a father yet. I'm just putting a little, hint out there.
Oh, is he hinting at something?
Something might be in the.